Have a nice day. Today is Sunday, 29th of December 2024. From the Indian history point of view, on 29th of December, a pivotal moment in the realm of cricket history unfolded when Sunil Gavaskar, a renowned Indian cricket opener, scored an unbeaten 236 in a test match against the West Indies in Chennai. Now, starting the newspaper with the world news, including at least 28 failed dead after a plane with a 181 on board crashes at South Korea airport. Trump defends H-1B. Vyasas sides with Musk. Ramaswamy amid Republicans' backlash. Tehran says 2025 important year for nuclear issue as China-Iran finance ministers meet in Beijing. Mohammad Yunus suggests lowering voting age to 17 in Bangladesh. BNP says could delay elections. Putin apologizes for downing Azerbaijan airline plane, says Russia was repelling Ukrainian drone attacks. In retaliation of attacks, Afghanistan hits multiple locations inside the Pakistan. Now from the Hindu newspaper, some brief points. A South Korean plane crash plane veers off runway. Media report 28 people dead. Firefighters carry out extinguishing operations on an aircraft which drove off runway at a Myeon International Airport in Myeon, South Jeolla Province, South Korea on December 29, 2024. Plane crash in South Korea kills 28 after landing gear malfunction. Fire erupts at the airport in Myeon. A plane with a malfunctioning landing gear veered off at the runway, hit a fence and caught fire Sunday, December 29, 2024 at an airport in the southern South Korea, killing at least 28 people according to the emergency office and local media. The emergency office said the fire was almost put out and rescue officials were trying to remove passengers from the Jeju Air passenger plane at the airport in the southern city of Myeon. It said the plane with about 180 people was returning from Bangkok. South Korean media outlets, including Yonhap news agencies, reported that at least 28 people had died in the fire. The Myeon fire station said it could not immediately confirm the casualty reports. It said emergency workers pulled out at least two passengers. Yonhap reported the plane veered off the runway and collided with the fence. Emergency officials said they were examining the exact cause of the fire. It's a great program. Trump appears to side with Musk in H-1B visa row. Donald Trump has in the past criticized the H-1B visas, calling them a very bad and unfair for United States workers. The United States President-elect Donald Trump praised visas for skilled foreign workers despite past criticism sparking debate within the conservative base and tech industry. President-elect Donald Trump appears to be siding with Elon Musk and his other backers in the tech industry as a dispute over immigration visas has divided his supporters. Mr. Trump, in an interview with the New York Post on Saturday, December 20, 2024, praised the use of the visas to bring skilled foreign workers to use the United States. The topic has become the flashpoint within his conservative base. Now, going towards the Hindustan Times newspaper states that Vladimir Putin apologizes to Azerbaijan press for a plane crash that killed 38. A drone view shows the emergency specialists working at the crash site of an Azerbaijan airline passenger plane near the city of Aktau, Kazakhstan, December 25, 2024. Russian President Vladimir Putin admitted on Saturday that the Russian air defense was working when an Azerbaijan airplane tried to land in Grozny before crashing, breathing the Kremlin silence as speculation mounted Russia may have accidentally shot the plane. The phone call between the allies came 3 days after the Embraer 190 plane flying from Baku to Grozny, the regional capital of the Russian Republic of Chechnya, Chechnya crashed in the Kazakhstan, killing 38 people of the 67 on board. United States President Biden hails Manmohan Singh's role in strengthening the ties. Former President Joe Biden China world leaders in paying tribute to the late former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, saying his achievements such as the India-United States civil nuclear deal and helping launch the Accord will strengthen the world for generations. Manmohan Singh dies on December 26 at the age of 92 after battling age-related illness, triggering an outpouring of grief and tributes from across the world. The government has announced 7 days of state mourning as a mark of respect. Biden said he and his wife Jill joined the people of India in grieving the loss of the Singh without the whole strategic vision and a political courage. The unprecedented level of cooperation today between the India and the United States would not have been possible. From forging the United States-India civil nuclear agreement to helping launch the first Accord between the Indo-Pacific partners, charted a path-breaking progress that will continue to strengthen our nations and the world for generations to come. He was a true statesman, a dedicated public servant, and above all, he was a kind and humble person, Biden said in a statement. Jammu and Kashmir Police Army rescue standards tourist civilians. Jammu and Kashmir Police and Army rescued dozens of tourists and civilians, including some patients who were stranded at various places in the valley due to the heavy snowfall on Friday. Snow removal machine clearing roads in the Srinagar on Saturday. Chinar warriors responded to a distress call from the civil administration to evacuate tourists stranded due to the unprecedented heavy snowfall in the tourist destination of Gulmarg and the subsequent closure of the road up to Tangmarg. Providing assistance in evacuation of 68 civilians, including 30 ladies and 30 gentlemen, and 8 children, along with the provisioning of hot meals, shelter, and medication for a total of 137 tourists, Army said in a statement, adding that the pregnant lady was evacuated at Kulgam. Chinar warriors responded to an emergency distress call to evacuate a pregnant lady from Munad village, Kulgam, amid a heavy snowfall. Their rescue team reached the location on time. Immediate life-saving medical assistance was extended, and the patient was evacuated to the government hospital, the spokesperson said. Now going towards the economy of the country from the business point of view, West Bengal and Rajasthan new migrant destination hotspots. Uttar Pradesh tops working paper of by Economic Advisory Council to the Prime Minister EAC-PM on migration trends. According to the analysis, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Karnataka and Telangana are the major origin states for the arrivals into the Maharashtra. As tech firms look to translate the promise of AI in 2025, 3 clear templates emerge. Google too has a pitch in this segment with the promise of to launch Gemini 2.0. It is most capable model that it says is built for the new agent era on a high tech, and all this could be data, a key component that's scaling equation. All status UT is expected to complete a draft labor code rules by March, bearing 5 states and union territories. All other have published the rules, setting the stage for the much-awaited rollout of the 4 codes. A collaborative study is also being undertaken with the International Labour Organization to comprehensively assess various factors related to the platform workers. Now going to the science and tech, we have which infectious disease is likely to be biggest emerging problem in 2025. This colorized electron microscope image released by the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease on March 26, 2024 shows avian influenza A H5N1 virus particles yellow and brown in maiden, dark by canine kidney, MDCK epithelial cell blue. One influenza virus is causing great concern right now and is teetering on the edge of being serious problem in 2025. Influenza A subtype H5N1, sometimes referred to as the bird flu. COVID emerged suddenly, spread rapidly and killed millions of people around the world. And since then, I think it is fair to say that most people have been nervous about the emergence of the next big infectious disease, be that a virus, bacterium, fungus, or parasite. With the COVID in a treat, thanks to highly effective vaccines, the three infectious diseases causing public health officials the greatest concern are malaria, a parasite, HIV, a virus, and a tuberculosis, a bacterium. Between them, they kill around 2 million people each year. And then there are a vast lists of priority pathogens, especially those that have become resistant to the drugs usually used to treat them, such as antibiotics and antivirals. Romanenko and his third space missions. Baikonur Cosmodrome, Yuri Romanenko, Wright, and Arnaldo Tamayo penned this before their takeoff on September 18, 1980. Soviet cosmonaut Yuri Romanenko spent a total of 430 days in space over three different missions. His third and final mission came to an end on December 29, 1987, making him the owner of the record for the longest single mission stay in the space at the time. A.S. Ganesh takes a look at Romanenko. So goes three different missions and what made them eventful. Born on August 1st, 1944, in a call to Benvosky, a village in Orenburg Oblast, Soviet Union. Yuri Romanenko was the son of the senior commander on a military ship's father and a combat medic. He did some of his schooling in Kaliningrad after his family moved there, and counted hunting and water fishing among his hobbies. Following a brief stint doing odd jobs, he joined the Chernigov High Air Force School in what is now Ukraine in 1962. He graduated with honors in 1966 and stayed on to train students while fine-tuning himself for the months of cosmonaut. By 1970, he was cleared and ready for space flights. Following a brief stint to doing odd jobs, he joined the Chernigov High Air Force School in what is now Ukraine in 1962. He graduated with honors in 1966 and stayed on to train the students while fine-tuning himself for demands of a cosmonaut. By the 1970s, he was cleared and ready for space flights. It was another 7 years before Romanenko had his first experience of space. As a flight commander on Soyuz 26, Romanenko, along with the engineer Georgy Grechko, was launched into space on December 10, 1977. During their 96 days in orbit, they met with the Soyuz 27, Soyuz 28, and Progress 1. Why better prediction of cyclone intensity? Heavy rainfall is needed. Heavy downpour in Puducherry, Cyclone Fengal, dumped 48.4 centimeter rainfall in 24 hours. Two critical areas requiring further research are the prediction of tropical cyclone intensity, especially rapid intensification, and forecasting of heavy rainfall associated with the landfall. Tropical cyclones rank among the most devastating natural phenomena with the potential to inflict significant destruction and the loss of life, while the North Indian Ocean basin experiences fewer cyclones compared to the other regions. It remains highly susceptible to their impact due to the densely populated coastal areas. This vulnerability was tragically highlighted by the Bohla cyclone of 1970, the deadliest tropical cyclone on record. Observational evidence indicates shifts in the pattern, intensity, and frequency of tropical cyclones, underscoring the need for adaptive measures in vulnerable regions. Climatology: the Bay of Bengal experiences a higher frequency of tropical cyclones compared with the Arabian Sea. In the recent years, there has been a 52% increase in the frequency of cyclone storms in the Arabian Sea, alongside a threefold rise in the duration of very severe cyclone storms. There is a greater likelihood of cyclonic storms intensifying into the severe cyclonic storms in the satellite era. The accumulated cyclone energy over the North Indian Ocean has shown an increasing trend. These trends are driven by environmental factors such as rising ocean heat content and decreasing vertical wind shear. Endocrine glands, the body's tiny titans. When we worry about the health of our family and our friends, discussion is often gravitates towards our hormones. The most talked about being insulin and the thyroid hormone. Hormones are signaling molecules found in most multicellular organisms. They facilitate communication between the organ and tissues in our body that are far apart. The signals are regulate a wide range of physiological and behavioral processes such as growth and maturation, sleep, digestive functions, and stress responses. Our school education has provided us with an understanding the role of the hormones in human physiology, with the respective endocrine glands that secrete hormones being described by their size and locations in our body. What is noticeable about these descriptions is how small these glands are. Adrenal gland found atop each kidney weighs 5 to 10 grams in adults. The pineal gland in the middle of the brain is the size and the shape of a grain of rice, and weight is 50 to 150 milligram. The thyroid gland in the neck resembles a butterfly in shape and weighs about 25 grams. Experts call for regulation and standardization of private healthcare in India. JSA co-convener Abhinay Shukla said the decision of the file the intervention application is part of JSA's effort to regulate private hospitals' costs to ensure patients' rights. Complete enforcement of the Clinical Establishments Acts and Patients' Rights character is necessary, says the non-profit Jan Swasthya Abhiyan. Seeking the affordable healthcare access across the country, the non-profit Jan Swasthya Abhiyan JSA, a coalition of health experts, activists, and organizations working for public health in India, has decided to intervene in the various petitions challenging the regulation of hospital charges. The decision to file an intervention application is part of JSA's efforts to regulate private hospitals' costs to ensure patients' rights, JSA co-convener Abhay Shukla said. According to 2024 data from the World Bank, 129 million people in India live in extreme poverty, which means they live on less than rupees 180 a day. The central government's think tank Niti Aayog notes that about 10 crore people, or 7% of India's population, are pushed into the poverty each year due to the health care costs. High out-of-pocket expenditure of healthcare is a significant challenge in India, especially for low-income families. From technology point of view, Open Artificial Intelligence outline is new for-profit structure to stay ahead in costly AI race. OpenAI outlined plans to ramp its structure, saying it would create a public benefit corporation. The non-profit, meanwhile, will have a significant interest in the BBC in the form of shares as determined by the independent financial advisors, OpenAI said in a blog post. OpenAI on Friday outlined the plans to ramp its structure, saying it would create a public benefit corporation that would make it easier to raise capital and remove the restrictions imposed on the startup by its current non-profit parent. Under the proposed structure, the ChatGPT maker's existing for-profit arm will become a deliverer, public benefit corporation (PBC), a company that is structured to consider the interests of the society in addition to shareholder value. The non-profit, meanwhile, will have a significant interest in the PBC in the form of the shares as determined by independent financial advisors. OpenAI is said in blog post, adding that it would be one of the best resourced non-profit in history. OpenAI started in 2015 as a research focused on non-profit, but created a for-profit unit 4 years later to secure funding for high costs of AI development. Its unusual structure gave control of the for-profit unit to the non-profit and was in focus last year when Sam Altman was fired as CEO only to return days after the employee outrage on the move. At last, there is a famous personality, the former president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela, whose full name is Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, born on Rolihlahla Mandela, 18 July 1918 up to 5 December 2013, was a South African anti-apartheid activist and politician who served as the first president of South Africa from 1994 to 1999. He was the country's first black president of the state and the first elected in a fully representative democratic election. His government focused on dismantling the legacy of apartheid by fostering racial reconciliation. Ideologically an African nationalist and socialist, he served as the president of the African National Congress ANC party from 1991 to 1997. Mandela was a controversial figure for much of his life, although critics on the right denounced him as the communist terrorist and those on the far left deemed him too eager to negotiate and reconcile with the apartheid supporters. He gained international acclaim for his activism. Globally regarded as the icon of the democracy and social justice, he received more than 250 honors, including Nobel Peace Prize. He is held in a deep respect with the South America, which is often referred by his Tambo clan name, Madiba, and described as the father of the nation. Nelson Mandela says a very famous quotation. He said that I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the truth over it. The brave man is not who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. Okay, thank you.